All right, so today I wanted to talk about this story out of Forbes. Now, it is a little over 4 years old, actually, but it still holds very much relevant. And it's titled "The EPA Spends $92 million over the past decade on furniture." Now, there is a few things I wanted to get at here, but the main point being is all of these government departments and all these kind of people, they don't care about the environment. They don't care about the poor. They don't care about uh, teaching kids and all this kind of stuff that they like to pretend they care about. What they care about is usually power and money. Now, is it because these people are naturally evil and manipulative and all they care about is enriching themselves? A small minority, yes, but the majority of them, I believe they're just people that are solely responding to incentive for the simple reason that they know they can get away with this kind of stuff. Like, of course they do. Like, it's literally like the equivalent to giving the average person, like, here's some random, multi-billionaire's credit card. They are just wanting to give it to some random person, just use it at your will. The limit is like $1 million a month. Spend as you please. Are you going to spend a ton of money on it? Of course you're going to do it. And this is the same kind of stuff with these people, is because these people in government believe that, hey, any problem that is financial, financial in nature, when it comes to government, any of these problems can simply be solved by simply printing more money or going more into debt. And because they believe that, they believe, oh, we should just spend damn near an unlimited amount on this kind of stuff. Like, and that's the crazy thing. And this is the other thing too. The other gripe I really had with this too is these environmentalists. Now, again, I complain about environmentalists a lot, and for good reason. It's not that they don't deserve it. Most environmentalists and climate change people are just useful idiots. They have no idea what they're talking about, and the reason that you can tell that they have no idea what they're talking about is that they just blindly repeat talking points that the mainstream media and some of these politicians point out. And the other reason you can tell that these people have no idea what they're talking about is that they're completely ignorant to the arguments that the climate skeptics believe, bring up. And this is how you can tell that someone actually. This is how you can tell that how someone actually knows what they're talking about, and someone that actually is educated, not the you drink the socialist and the commie Kool-Aid like most of these people bring up. No, actually being educated means you're very much aware of what people on both sides argue. You're very much aware of the best arguments that both sides make, and you draw your own conclusions. That is being educated. If you're completely unaware of what the arguments that one side makes, how in the world can you consider yourself to be educated? It is beyond me. It is beyond me. Now, why don't people seek out opinions that differ from their own? Because they know in the back of their head that it would completely disprove their whole worldview, right? That's pretty much the main reason why. A lot of people, I think, just generally are just in such an echo chamber that they genuinely believe that they do. Like, especially some of these people on the far left. These people tend to be very, very famous for it. That they're in such an echo chamber, and if anything, an echo chamber is an understatement, that they genuinely believe that they have considered everything. Like, they genuinely believe it. And um, the other way, I would say, the third way, is people who are generally skeptical of making very, very broad, assumptions, like, this is the only way to fix this problem, or this is the only way to fix that problem. Now, I do believe that there is some obvious blanket statements that can be made, but blanket statements like, oh, we're all going to die in 12 years if we don't address climate change, that is pretty much a textbook example of that. I mean, that was 1 or 2 years ago, so if anything, these people believe we're going to be dead within the next decade or less. So that is the things I wanted to bring up as far as that goes. But when it comes to this kind of stuff, again, if these people actually care so much about the environment, there is no way you can look at me with a straight face and say you can't get those costs down 20, 30, I'd say probably upwards of 50%, maybe even more. I mean, God only, I mean, um, they say what here? 6,000 in furniture per staffer. I don't know exactly what that covers, but like I mean, a decent desk and an office chair. I mean, that ain't gonna cost you 6 grand. So, um, yeah, I don't know exactly how much that's covering, but again, I mean, you not only that too. You look at some of these EPA buildings I've heard described that they have like expensive like granite and like super fancy everything. And again, the point being is that if these people actually cared about the environment, they wouldn't do that kind of stuff. You would have this bare bones of a building. You'd use the bare bone, not that you want to use, rickety old office chairs and a falling apart desk. No, like I mean like something that's decent, but it's not the most expensive stuff on the market. It's something more mid-level, right? So again, if they actually cared about the environment, they wouldn't overspend. Like they wouldn't overspend. But again, they don't. Again, most of the people at the top are the ones that are the worst because the people at the top are the ones that genuinely are evil. The ones in the middle and at the bottom, especially, are the ones that are the useful idiots. They're the ones. Those kind of people probably actually do care about the environment. The problem is that it's the ones at the top. The ones at the top are the evil ones. The ones that genuinely are evil, most of them at least, and all they care about is power and enriching themselves. Again, like I pointed out too, you look at these EPA buildings; they're like way more expensive than they have to be. Um, and again, like I said, the main point being is that if they actually cared about the environment, they wouldn't spend so much money. They would donate that money to helping out the environment. But again, because they don't, we know beyond a shadow of a doubt that caring about the environment is only a front for other nefarious intentions. Now, why do they get away with this so much? Well, they get away with it only partially because people on the right tend to be up in arms about this kind of stuff. But it's the people on the left who let them off the hook. Why do people on the left let them off the hook? Well, mainly because when you're on the left, your entire political worldview revolves around appearing to be compassionate, appearing to be doing the right thing. Now, the ramifications, the actual consequences of whatever actions the left proposes and implements, they could care less about, which is exactly why the vast majority of people I talk to on the left either downplay communism or completely deny like the amount of death and pain and suffering of communism. Why do they do that? Because communism is about helping the poor and equality and all this garbage that they bring up, but they don't care that over 100 million people died of communism in the last 100 years. So again, the actual consequences of the left's proposals and what they do, they could care less about. Again, so the EPA is the Environmental Protection Agency. They're doing a good job, but they don't care that they're not actually doing a good job. Again, because it's the Environmental Protection Agency. It's the same thing with Antifa. Their name is anti-fascist. Therefore, they must be doing the right thing, even though they're routinely beating people half to death and causing untold amounts of hundreds of millions of damage, maybe even in the billions at this point, who knows. They don't care about that because their name is anti-fascist, therefore they must be good. It's the same thing with Black Lives Matter. Their name is Black Lives Matter, therefore it must be good. They don't care that Black Lives Matter has done literally nothing to help the black community. They don't care that they actually ignore the main problems facing the black community, namely literally millions of slaves around the world to this day are still enslaved. Show me one time when Black Lives Matter has brought that up about being a big issue. Um, I mean, the fact that literally thousands of blacks are murdered by other blacks, they don't bring that up. The negative ramifications of the welfare state, they don't bring that up. But the 10 to 15 unarmed blacks that are killed a year by police, that is the biggest issue in the world. Like I say, they don't care. They only care about the intentions and the agenda behind the intentions, which is basically to further socialism, which will end up with communism. So Anyway, that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about today. If you liked the video, make sure you hit that like and subscribe if you haven't already. Check me out on So just check me out on those other platforms. I got them all linked there in the description. And last thing, stay tuned for more.